We just came back from Switzerland and we want to share some insights we gained for the first time we have been back home and of living full time in Colombia. And these insights and why you should care even though if you're from the US in this video. Welcome to How to Expat. My name is Sam.
And my name is Tasha.
And we recently have been on our first trip back home to Switzerland since living full time in Colombia. And we gained some very interesting insights and we want to share the 8 insights we gained of what we have learned through our trip to Switzerland here in this video. And I will start with the first one, which is Colombia is loud. So it's really amazing. Of course, if you're in the countryside of Colombia, it's not really the thing. You just have maybe the animals and the insects. But in general, Colombia, always something is going on. So you have cars, you have motorcycles, you have music, you have people. It's a very, very active country.
Always something going on.
Exactly. And we especially recognize that because if we want to do videos, we need a quiet place. And in Switzerland, we could have done it everywhere. Even in the middle of the city, people are so quiet. There's even the restriction on the noise you can have with the cars and stuff. So it's just silent in Switzerland. And here in Colombia, as I said, all the time something is going on. And of course it's cool to have it kind of silent and stuff, but on the other hand I really miss it in Switzerland because here it's just the people are so active, they're happy, they're loud, there's something going on, there are activities going on and stuff like that. So it's really the thing we recognize and the thing we saw, which we kind of like about Colombia, that there's always something going on, which in the downside means mostly there's some kind of noise around.
The other thing, which sounds kind of silly to be honest, because I grew up there and everything, but I noticed that back in Switzerland, people are so international, which means you walk into the street and you hear, I don't know, like Serbish, you hear German, which is not the same like Swiss German, you hear English, you hear Polish, you hear so many different languages.
So much Spanish in Switzerland. We could tell, that's a Cuban, that's a Dominican. Like it's
so many Dominicans there. So this is really something. First, we were super proud because now we understood them. But on the other hand, it was like, was it always like that? I don't think it changed after 1.5 years, but it was just like, okay, there's a lot going on here. So it was kind of a shock because here in Colombia, I think an exception is maybe Bogota because it's more international, but when you're not walking around Poblado area, you don't see or hear English or other languages that much, like that often. So that was quite surprising, let's say, but to be honest, I prefer like the Colombian way that I always hear Spanish. I don't know why, but I just like the vibe of the language and everything. So this is something I noticed back in Switzerland.
So one of the cool things in Switzerland, which is kind of a learning point for everybody that comes here, the right of way and the street safety. So if you're concerned of getting kidnapped and decapitated and whatnot in Colombia, don't worry about that stuff. Worry about the streets. Come on. It's the streets in Colombia. You have to be on point. You have to, you have to be aware of what's going on. And there could be holes in the pedestrian sidewalk, or
a pole
in the middle of the street, or just motos driving the other way on a one-way street and stuff like that. And of course, as a pedestrian, like I always say to our clients, here is the law of the jungle. So the stronger survive. So first is the trucks, then the cars, then maybe the bikes, and then maybe you as a pedestrian. And in Switzerland, I felt great. Really, when you have the zebras and you want to pass the street, I felt like I have superpower because they stopped for me. It was incredible. I laughed my ass off the first couple of times I did that. It's just so, I felt like, wow, it's just, I don't know, I have an invisible force field around me. So yeah, that's just a thing. And of course, for you, the learning point, just be very careful navigating the streets here in Colombia. It's just, it's not really too chaotic like maybe in China at some places, or Asia or something like that. But surely you have to watch out what you're doing. In Switzerland, if you're a pedestrian, you're kind of always in the right, so you can do kind of whatever you want. So depending on where you're from in the US, it may be similar to here in Colombia or similar to Switzerland. But that's just something we learned on our trip in Switzerland.
Talking about the right of way is a perfect beginning for my next point, which is Switzerland is really strict and organized, which is you can pass the street and people will actually wait, because when a policeman will see you not like stopping for a pedestrian, oh lord, this is gonna be so expensive. So this is something you really see, like the trains are always punctual, and when they're late it's like maybe 5 minutes, and even then Swiss people are complaining, but we're talking about 5-10 minutes, okay? So it's really organized. You really know where to go. Everything you see everywhere, a sign showing you the right direction and stuff. So here sometimes you get lost, because even like looking for the bathroom can be a hassle, because it's like this way is the bathroom and then you don't have a sign anymore. It's like, okay, where is it now? So I just had that recently. So this is really something like, it's so well organized and really friendly in a lot of ways, like I don't know how you say
navigate.
that. Navigating friendly, if you can say that. And so this is something we really miss here in Colombia, because in Switzerland you don't talk to the people that much anymore, so you really see the difference of the culture. You really want a sign for everything instead of talking to people and ask where's the bathroom, for example. So here's the opposite. So here you rather ask people, for example, for directions instead of going to Google Maps. So this is something cultural. I think both is good, but this is something that is different in Switzerland.
Just something else kind of came to my mind. It's not in the end points I had here. One thing I recognize in Switzerland, which is quite different, is if you see people outside on the street, they're always walking. First of all, because of the weather, because it's not here in Colombia, it's just nice and warm most places, and they have to run from point A to point B. And this is one thing I recognized in the city. There's no chairs on the street where people just sit outside, or there are no kind of restaurants where they're more like on the street and people just sit there, or people just talking on the side of the street. They're either waiting for the public transport, or they're walking from point A to point B. That's kind of it's just always kind of either waiting to go somewhere or actually going somewhere instead of kind of enjoying themselves. That's really something that's in Colombia is just totally different. Just on the side, that just came to mind. And then I think now the fourth or fifth point, I don't know. It's Switzerland is very competitive. So here the focus is more on having a good life, having a family-oriented life, social life, exactly. And in Switzerland, it's all about the business. So I visited my former business. I worked for 4 years. And it was very cool, but I just saw the people, like, they didn't have too much time for me to talk to me. Even though I had some business stuff that I was talking to with them, and so it was not just that I visited and took all their time. But yeah, you just quickly saw that people after maybe 10, 15 minutes or something like that, they had to go back to work, which yeah, in Colombia is kind of a little different thing. So yeah, you could talk way longer than that, than just in Switzerland. Just the whole vibe of work, work, work is just way different in Switzerland. That's another point we learned, which is yeah, the priorities are just set way differently here in Colombia than it is in a well organized, work oriented country like Switzerland.
Which, yeah, my point was work-life balance. So you already, yeah, said most of it. The thing is that work-life balance is not really a thing. First, like social life. When you're meeting someone, one of the first questions is what do you do for life? Which is not really a thing here in Colombia, for example. And the thing is that you don't really have the balance. It's called work-life balance, but you don't really have the balance because you're always kind of working. So when you're not usually you take your work even home in your mind because you're still thinking about it and stuff. That's the first thing. The other thing, like I said in another video about what changed us since we're in Colombia, there I was mentioning that people are always in a hurry. So they're in a hurry to go to work, they're in a hurry to go home, but there's never time to just relax actually, or they really have to schedule time to relax. So the thing is that our Colombian friends are laughing at us. For example, today my friend asked me, "Do you have time this tonight? We want to do a get together." I was like, "Yeah, fine, let's do this." In Switzerland, you're gonna plan everything ahead. So like 1 month, 2 months before the actual meeting, you need to make a plan in order to get together because they're always so busy. So this is surely something that is so different in Switzerland compared to Colombia.
So my next point or my last point is, I just saw like in Switzerland you can have everything. If you go to a shop, let's say they have electronics, the variety what you have there is just incredible. So and the things are just so well connected with the post office and the whole delivery service, and they have a high efficient website you can order and stuff. Yeah, maybe you already know like Amazon Prime and stuff like that. So it's so easy to get stuff, and then you kind of lured into always having the newest thing, the new shiny thing, the new iPhone, the new, I don't know. Where here, let's say in Colombia, you see people have more or less a kind of a smartphone, but it's maybe from an unknown brand. And in Switzerland, exactly.
Whatever.
And in Switzerland, they have all iPhone, Samsung, top notch. And it's just, those people work for that stuff. So they work more efficiently. The whole system is very efficient to get the newest shiny thing, let's say. And here in Colombia, you just don't have that option. If you want Amazon Prime or something like that here, good luck.
Not existing.
Yeah, sometimes like in our example where we live, sometimes it's not really a postal service, but it's just one company that delivers stuff. Sometimes they find our address. Last time I couldn't order something because I have no idea what happened. They said our address doesn't appear. And we live not outside in the boonies or somewhere, in the middle of the city, and the same company already delivered us something, so I have no idea how it goes or how that went, but it's just a thing, it's just a bigger hassle to get the new shiny thing here in Colombia, so you just don't. And for that, especially if you're not an employee, you just have more money to spend, or if you have more money to spend, you have to work less. So it's just that you are not able to get whatever you want and the newest thing and the shiniest thing and whatnot. You just don't, and that just adds a lot to quality of life. And yeah, this is really what we learn in Switzerland. It's kind of a big thing that you just are forced to live an easier lifestyle here in Colombia, which helps you out in the long run and for your mental and for your mental health, for your soul and everything like that. Which in Switzerland you just get lured into these kinds of deals, and you're running from getting the new Nike sneakers to, I don't know, getting the next compression shirt for your running activity or whatnot, which in Colombia you just don't have.
So my last point is safety. So safety in Switzerland is really thing, like compared to other countries, even like compared to Italy or compared to Germany or I don't know what. It's not just like Europe, it's really Switzerland, because like safety there is like incredibly high, which means like you can put your phone on a table and you don't have to be afraid that somebody's gonna steal it, because usually even like the poor people in Switzerland can afford the phone that you have. On the other side, being in Colombia and you have like me a Samsung for example, and you leave it on the table, you know that this is worth maybe, I don't know, 6 months of work for somebody here, like a poor person of a whole year or whatever. So it's just a different perspective. So in Switzerland, walking around is so, I don't know, like less stressful for me, like for me, because it never happened anything to me, neither in Colombia, but I'm just always aware about my surrounding, and I am too in Switzerland, but it's just like a totally other environment. You just know that people are not interested in your stuff, people are not interested in you. They're just interested in their own business. They're so busy with themselves. They don't even think about stealing your stuff, you know? So this is really something that is so different in Switzerland, like compared to Colombia and even other countries in Europe, the States, and whatnot. So this is really something I noticed that is so different from Switzerland to a lot of other countries in that world. So this is something that I miss here, to be honest, in Colombia, like that kind of feeling of safety, but I know that it's something exceptional from Switzerland and I can't have that in other countries, and it's totally okay. The only thing is, like we said in our safety videos and stuff, that you just have to be aware of your surroundings and just be clever. Like street cleverness is really something you need here in Colombia. And so like I said, it never happened something to us, so don't be afraid about safety here.
So these were our planned 8, and I think now it's 9 points of what we learned from our trip to Switzerland. It was just eye-opening to go back, have that really direct contrast of kind of the busy, vibrant life here in Colombia and the very organized, strict life in Switzerland. It was just amazing to see that, and it just opened up kind of new thoughts, and we're still in the process of getting them in the right order. But that was all I did for this video. If you want to find out more about expat life in Colombia, Ecuador, and Panama, make sure to check out our ebook. The link is in the description down below, so make sure to check it out now.